Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news for you, and the headline reads: Breaking, Ihedioha fails at Supreme Court, lost to Hope Uzodinma. Uzodinma remains the governor of Imo State. But before we go into the news proper and further analysis, we do love you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button below. Beside it, you will see a bell notification icon. Please click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Okay, let's go straight into the news of the day. The Supreme Court has ruled that it has no power to sit in appeal over its decision. Justice Ariwola, Hope Uzodinma remains Imo State governor. Application dismissed with no cost. Nigerians have started taking to their social media handle, have started reacting. This is really not what Nigerians were expecting. One here says, imagine. Another one says, oh, but one love. Another one here says, I knew that's why no cost was attached. As in, they actually have been looking through this. Before we go to another, let's hear what Nigerians generally saying. This one here says, so sad for Imo people. Well, a lot of reactions have been taking place here. Nigerians are surprised. Quite a number of people are beginning to react, saying that this is not what they were expecting. They were expecting more information on this. Well, a lot of things are beginning to shape up, because right now, even myself, I'm really surprised, judging the fact that the Supreme Court before now has shown themselves, with all the permutations and reactions, all the verdicts. And I also noticed very quickly that the Supreme Court deliberately, did not mention facts and figures. I noticed that the Supreme Court judges deliberately avoid mentioning facts and figures. A typical example is one here said, I read relevant parts of the judgment. It was not sound at all. There's no law that says they shouldn't see the clearly fraudulent nature of the documents right in front of them. In fact, the Supreme Court was clearly wrong or compromised or both. Notice how they carefully did not mention numbers in their judgment. In a case that's all about numbers, for the same reason they dare not mention meeting the constitutionally mandated geographical spread, because they know the numbers make no sense. The man gave himself more votes than their voters. Same reason INEC dare not to give the final tally of votes as they did in Bayelsa and others. They do be laughed at. Well, you can see that Nigerians are surprised. One here says democracy is in danger. One would have expected that so many things, should come into play here. But before now, one or two Nigerians have said this before. A particular prophet here said that Hope Emeka Ihedioha will not take the day. That if he does that, God should kill him, he should die. But obviously, we are seeing it now that his prophecy has come to pass. Ihedioha did not, make the mandate. But let's be truthful to ourselves. Let's be real. I perceived that if they don't reverse it, they're already using, like Martin Amdekano said something previously, said, look, they use Leon's case as a test run. It's like as if Leon's reversal of Leon's case judgment verdict is like a lab rat, permit me to use the word lab rat, as in to test the waters, how Nigerians will react to the fact that they can trash out APC's review application. In fact, it went as far as them giving Leon's lawyers 30 million. There were two lawyers, 30 million naira fine each for daring to bring such review cases. Now, but here, this one, they said on no cost, meaning don't worry, we won't pay you, we won't bill you or fine you, because already they've taken a mandate bigger than 30 million naira. This has become a real joke, really. I knew, a verdict, why would it take so much, how many hours to review a verdict? Look at the standing point they have given. Look at you are not even talking about the rules. You're not talking about the figures that don't jive. You're not talking about the fact that the figures don't jive. And a lot of things keep coming to my mind. I could still remember 2-3 months ago, as in barely 2-3 months into being the Imo State governor. I'm talking about Hope Uzodinma. He has practically been living in Abuja. He has started doing the biddings of the government of the day. Started doing things that Imolites don't even like. But as it is now, I guess it's hope Emeka Ihedioha have given his best shot. He got himself a son, a former Attorney General of the Federation, a son, a senior advocate of Nigeria, who also knew his onions. They started with delaying taxes. The man was equal to the tax, and eventually, whether you delay or not, eventually the laws will pass. One of the things that I started getting double feelings about was the fact that if there is a reversal on this case, most definitely other judgments will begin to come into play, begin to go reverse the Supreme Court. You can also reverse our cases, So when they started fanning the lawyers of Leons, I started having double feelings about this. But then both cases were different. Nigerians, one or two Nigerians, the other time I was discussing with my colleague over the same issue. There's something he said that caught my attention. He said, look, if this become a way and Supreme Court does not reverse itself, subsequently 2023 elections, if Nigeria still remains one, will be worse. Which means if since INEC is no longer independent, is not dependent on Supreme Court judgment, so INEC now should be giving themselves independent judiciary electoral commission, no longer independent national electoral commission. They are not independent at all, because if they are independent, you should be able to understand and respect the verdict of INEC in all ramifications. Where necessary, their figures should be able to, some of their figures should make sense, and not when you begin to add figures and they don't jive and you just arbitrarily pick up anyone you choose to and give a verdict. But then they have made their verdict, they have given their mandate. But I also feel that in this case, the way it is going now, Nigerians will begin to, it's not a case of if you try a ballot rigging, it doesn't work. Relax, don't lose hope. There's still hope in Supreme Court. We'll take our mandate to Supreme Court. Just relax. Make sure that just go to INEC, tell them, look, all the accredited voters and all the cancelled votes, don't trash them or kill them. We'll need them for our cumulation, because if we have cancelled them as INEC as a body, we will cumulate them in Supreme Court. It has now become, it will become a trend where everyone will just do elections for doing sake, but it is the Supreme Court or it is the judiciary that will determine who the governor, who the senator, or whatever the case may be, or whatever seat that is being vied for will be. And this is not good for democracy. Democracy is already endangered, which also means by verdict, by default, electorates do not have a mandate in Nigeria. Electorates do not have a voice. Now the voice of judiciary now is the voice of everyone when it comes to voting, when it comes to elections. Your mandate as a person, as a grown-up who also vote and be voted for is no longer important. You can, if you like, come out for voting. If you like, don't come out for voting. It's not important, really. Most important thing is the fact that when it is time for giving a certificate of return, where it was the judiciary that will mandate INEC who to give certificate of return, and not INEC telling who to give per time. So whatever they have rounded up as their figure, that's your business. You can even rule for even if they have announced you as the winner, you can only be there maybe a month or two. By the time they go for judiciary tribunal verdict and all that, by the time you're done, give or take maybe 2 months, you rule for 2 months. Subsequently, judiciary will determine who will rule, which means by default we are no longer in democracy, which means by default the election, the executive have the mandate, have some sort of power to pick who they like or who they think who they deem fit to be the Chief Justice of Nigeria. A typical example is Onogen, that was removed and put Tanko Mohammed as the Chief Justice of Nigeria, which is what we are seeing right now. Before now, Onogen was a bit more very practical. It was very Onogen was very unbiased in his judgment. But before the election proper, Onogen had to be kicked out to give way to Tanko. And obviously, from all this permutation and reaction, you can now see where it is headed, whereby the electorate votes don't count. After your voting, you have said you have voted, you have done your franchise, you have done your voting, it doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that at the end of the day, our CGM will do the needful, will go and contest it in court, and he will give the mandate to whom we deem fit. So what it now means is that we're no longer in democracy. We just bear it as a name. too bad. Ihedioha, too bad. It's good that you fought, like the Bible will say, I fought the good fight of faith. It's good that you gave it your best shot, you gave it your last shot. They said the court, the judge, the judiciary, last hope of the common man. Well, you have done your last, you have done your bit. When it comes to Nigerian setting, you come to the world setting, you have done your bit. At least you can beat your chest and say, I contested it to the very last. What it means is that Nigeria should be careful. Anyone can become governor, anyone can become president. All it takes is for you to get in the right books of the judiciary. You take the day. Well, too bad. Well, I won't say kudos, because the judgment is already passed. Hope Uzodinma is still the governor of the state. Imolites, I would say congratulations. Enjoy the new governor you have. I hope that he will not bring tears, but rather hope, as I've rightly said. I also hope that already APC, the PDP judiciary legislature have already moved to APC. So it's a case of the whole Imolite. I hope it is not compromised. But all the same, I will have to say congratulations to Hope Uzodinma. The most important thing is that let the Imolite not suffer. That's how we're going to wrap it up. Let's interact. Don't forget, Hope Uzodinma is now